Hey everybody, I submitted a video, not a photo, a video to ChatGPT, and I said, I want you to analyze my hair from root to tip. I described my hair, but nothing else, and this is what happened. Okay, if you are not technically inclined, do not panic if you want to do this because it works on the free version of ChatGPT, and you can do it on either the website or the app. And I am going to recommend a video because if you show the movement of your hair, then it gives you a much more detailed explanation, which I was super happy about. I did not ask for it to break down the categories. I wanted it to go through the health and the structure and recommendations, which it did, but it started off by going into 4 different categories. So here's what it said. Okay, with the smoothness, I am always concerned about the smoothness and raised cuticles, which tells us that we do have an issue. It said that the smoothness of my hair, especially around the crown, looked really good, which says that we are not dealing with a lot of frizziness or raised cuticles. Now, I do have naturally frizzy hair, and this was day 2 hair. It was just like naturally wavy state, and I was flopping it around. So very good on the first one, on the smoothness, so good there. Number 2, for the softness, it said that the hair had a nice flow to it and it did not look overly weighed down, and that is going to be key to understanding healthy hair for the remainder of this video. So hair has movement, it's not overly weighed down, it's not limp, overly conditioned, or moisturized, so good on the movement. Number 3, the ends. It said that the ends looked healthy with some movement. Kind of keep doing what you're doing. However, regular trims are recommended. And it actually said micro trim because obviously the way my hair is styled, we do face framing layers. And then I do trim my ends probably every 6 months or so. So continue to do that and do not neglect the ends. And lastly, it mentioned volume, and it said for having a lot of hair that is fine. My hair is like a fine medium mix, but it's just a lot of fine hair mostly. And it said that it actually said that it has excellent density for that hair type, which means that I'm using the right products for my hair type. What products am I using? Well, I always talk about Pureology on this channel. Number 4, Luxury Hair Care, which is a lot lighter. And then Kundal, which is K-Beauty. I just reviewed that, and that is the lighter of the 3. I have to say that I think that Kundal is something really special. I'm not affiliated with them, but there is a really special component to that product, and it's not about the botanical, it is about the balance, and we're going to get into that in just a second. So if you want to try number 4, I'm still affiliated. You can use my link below for a discount. Pureology I've been using for years and years, but it's a lot creamier and heavier. So for the summer when I'm washing my hair more often, it could be a little bit heavy, and I'm on the strength cure now. I used to use the hydrate. When you're dealing with like a lot of damage, I would definitely go with the hydrate. But we need balance in our hair. And the key to the remainder of this video is understanding that healthy hair is all about balance. So what ChatGPT summarized is that my hair looks like it has a healthy balance between moisture and protein, and that's why it could see the smoothness, the shyness, and everything else it explained about the movement, so on and so forth. Moral of the story, we need to have a very good balance between protein and moisture, and here are some details about that. So think about these 2 categories now. The protein being our strength. It's going to give us our structure, our strength, and our resilience, okay? Strong hair, so it's not breaking off. And number 2 is our moisture, flexibility, and shine. Strength, number 1. Number 2, flexibility and shine, which is where we're going to see that beautiful smoothness, the bounce, the moisture, the soft to the touch. And then when you combine the 2, you have the perfect balance for your hair type. Let's talk about what happens if you have overload of either 1 or number 2, because I went through TE and I was trying to figure out what was going on with my hair through that extreme shedding. One of the things that happens with TE is that your hair feels like it's so limp and overloaded and lacks protein. So that's important to get diagnosed by a dermatologist. But let's say you don't have any issues with your health and your hair feels really limp, soft, there's no structure, or it just feels overly softened. That could mean that it's overly moisturized, overly conditioned due to a couple things. Number one, you're keeping your hair wet for way too long. That could be wet after the shower where it's sopping, and the blow up professor talks about this too. You can have it up in one of those microfiber towels for hours and hours, or you decide to air dry, but your hair takes a really long time to air dry, so it's staying very moist for a very long period of time. Or you could be overly conditioning, number one, or a part of that. You're using products that are way too heavy for your hair type, or number two, you're leaving them on for way too long. Something really important to understand is to turn the bottle around, the little tube around, whatever you're using, and you need to follow the specific instructions of that specific product. Like Olaplex Bond Repair that I used to use all the time. Of course, now famously people were always doing that Olaplex bun and they left it on overnight for hours and hours. It actually says minimum 10 minutes, stops working at 30 minutes, but when you keep spraying it with water, it keeps it active. So think about this. You're keeping something active in your hair, continuously conditioning the hair. Your hair may or may not like that. It is not following the directions. The directions need to be followed because they have specifically, scientifically formulated it for your specific hair type. So I just want to explain a little bit about protein right now, because I think there's just, it's a buzzword when it comes to hair. Why? Because our hair is made up of mostly protein, and a very strong protein called keratin. And every time we hear that word, we're thinking, oh, let's get this product because it has keratin in it. Let's understand what it is. So the hair is mostly made up of protein, keratin, which is an extremely strong protein. And it's, like I mentioned before, it's what's going to give our hair the structure, the strength. Remember this, remember that emoji, nice and strong, structured hair, resilient hair. But if you think that, hey, my hair needs more protein just because it's made up of protein, meanwhile your hair could be perfectly balanced, and you start doing protein treatments, it's going to make your hair stiff, it's going to be more prone to breakage. And those protein rice experiments that I've seen online, what I've seen online is a lot of people on YouTube do is, it seems like it gives you like a huge head start. Well, you'll start to see your hair grow really fast, and it starts to get brittle, and you're going to start to have breakage because there is not enough moisture in it. And I think somebody that's being really honest, that's not trying to sell you something, will tell you make sure your hair is balanced. So does everybody need protein? Yes, but we need the balance with the protein and the moisture. That's why earlier I said I became a fan of Kundal, because one of their products, so let's say the shampoo and the conditioner, which they call the protein treatment, one is super moisturizing, and then one has the hydrolyzed protein, which are really, really small, like amino acids that get into the hair shaft, like a long-term rehab for your hair instead of sitting on top. So you're getting moisture and you're getting protein. If it has enough structure to it and strength and resilience to it, then you actually don't need more protein. Now, how do I know if I need more moisture? Remember, moisture will always keep your hair soft, flexible, and glossy. Think about shine, moisture, and bounce. And if you are lacking in one of those areas, grab a hydrating mask and leave it on for 10 minutes, guys. It is that simple. You will see results. Analyze your hair. Is it smooth? Is it frizzy? Does it have bounce? Does it have softness? Does it have structure? If it has a little bit of everything, then you have balanced hair, which means continue to do what you're doing. I wouldn't run out and get one specific product that has an overload of moisture or an overload of protein, because that will cause an overload of that in your hair. I would only do that if the hair is unbalanced. See a professional, or, I mean, you can always ask ChatGPT how I did, but don't forget, I also ask professionals all the time as well. So only add in what you're missing. And remember, everybody acts differently to the same product. As far as cut, it actually said, you know, keep going with the face framing layers, keep trimming your ends. And then it said, for my specific hair type, stick with the cleaner products, the cleaner type products that are more lightweight, and try to stay away from heavy silicones and oils. As far as silicones and oils for my hair type, again, I'll give you my examples. I love the grapeseed oil, which I'm sticking with for my hair. And then also I like silicones in conditioners, but I went through a ton of silicones in my Kundal review. So if you haven't seen that, please watch that, because you can see how good silicones are on your hair, like dimethicone and amodimethicone. There are some very good benefits to having that slip in your hair. Once again, you're conditioning, you're washing out. It's not something that we are leaving in. I hope that was helpful to everybody. Inquiries always welcome below, of course, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Bisous, bisous.